gave him these words of remembrance. Do we not think that if we also have, okay, well he's dead, so how? No, wait a minute, slow down. The Prophet ﷺ could not have given this man this benefit while he was alive. Allah is the doer. So it doesn't matter if the Prophet ﷺ has passed away. Allah can. Your love for the Prophet ﷺ is going to get you a gift from God. And at the end of the day, I'm worried about me. He said, say these words. Everybody repeat after me. These are the words. La ilaha illallah. Lahul mulk. Wa lahul hamdu. La sharika lah. Congratulations. Let's say, okay. La ilaha illallah. Lahul mulk. Wa lahul hamdu. La sharika lahu. La ilaha illallah. Lahul mulku. Wa lahul hamdu. La sharika lahu. La ilaha illallah. Lahul mulku. Wa lahul hamdu. La sharika lahu. La ilaha illallah. Lahul mulku. Wa lahul hamdu. La sharika lahu. La ilaha illallah. Lahul mulku. Wa lahul hamdu. La sharika lahu. La ilaha illallah. Lahul mulku. Wa lahul hamdu. La sharika lahu. La ilaha illallah. Lahul mulku. Wa lahul hamdu. La sharika lahu. La ilaha illallah. Lahul mulku. Wa lahul hamdu. La sharika lahu. Congratulations. Now what you love is your sole desire also. Love, what you love, the object of your love is all you want. True love. All you think about. So Rabi'a ibn Ka'ab, he says, now this is a Sahabi's name. So apparently Rabi'a is a guy and a girl's name. I was kind of taken aback when I read it. I was making sure it wasn't a typo. Anyway, Rabi'a ibn Ka'ab narrates, it was the habit of the Prophet peace be upon him that if someone did him a good turn, he loved to repay that person with something more excellent. That was his sunnah. People want to start talking about sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ? This is what we're talking about. And just as a side note, the sunnah of the Prophet peace be upon him is not to kick women into a closet somewhere, or send them home so where there's no environment set up for them so that they can just rot away and make sure the dinner is made when I get home. It's not the sunnah of Rasulullah. This is not. He didn't treat women that way. He didn't treat them like cattle or anything like that. And just think about it. From what you've heard, does that make any sense from what we're reading? Do you not see like a contradiction? Just a side point. It really hurts my heart when Muslims. So he wanted to do something for me too in return for my service to him. So one day he came up to me and said, O Rabi'a ibn Ka'ab. He said, Labbaik ya Rasulullah wa sa'adik. Everyone say, Labbaik ya Rasulullah wa sa'adik. It's a sunnah. When someone calls you, it's actually a sunnah to say that. Labbaik wa sa'adik. It means literally, I am here and at your service. So if someone says, Abdul Latif, if I were to say, Labbaik wa sa'adik, I get reward. It's a sunnah. If someone doesn't say it, it doesn't mean you have to go, you didn't say it! Sa'adik, no. Sa'adik. At your command, O Messenger of God, and may God grant you happiness. That's what actually Sa'ad means, may Allah grant you happiness. I responded, ask of me anything and I will give it to you. He said, Labbaik wa sa'adik. He said, ask me anything and I will give it to you. I thought a little. The man, look, don't think that the Prophet ﷺ is just, okay. Do not think he was a man, but he's not like other men. He was a ruby among stones. We're stones, he's the ruby, peace be upon him. He has a special relationship with God. And look at this hadith. You can't argue with me on that point. He's not the postman. He didn't just come and give the message and go off in his little, in California, the postman wear little shorts and his little hat, walk off with the rest of the mail. Like we treat him like he was a postman. He's Habibullah. He's the object of Allah's love. And he was then, and he is now, he's going to be forever. Well, my name is not Abdul Latif. Just kidding. I thought, He said, I thought a little. And then I said, give me some time, O Messenger of Allah, to think about what I should ask of you. He knows that whatever he's giving, it'd be like someone come to you and go, all right, I'm going to give you one wish, whatever you ask for, you can have it. And you know that whatever it is, you're going to get it. That's what he saw in the Prophet's. He said, then I'll ask you now. And he said, he agreed. At that time, I was a young man and poor. I didn't have family, I didn't have wealth, I didn't have a place to live. I used to shelter in the sufa of the mosque. So you have this Ashab al-Sufa, the people of the sufa. So it's actually a sunnah. If you have someone that's in the mosque, looking after the mosque, he's there all the time as a companion of the mosque, this is actually a sunnah. It's a sunnah. And may Allah reward a community that has such a situation. It's a sunnah. The master of the Prophet had Ashab al-Sufa. These were the people that were the closest companions of the they were the ones who carried the secrets of the Prophet. Bilal is one of them. So anyway, he was one of these people. And to give you the background, what happened is that many of the Meccans, when they came to Medina to Munawwara, they had to leave everything behind. So when they left, they were rich in Mecca. When they came to Medina, they left everything behind, and they weren't, the Medinians were agricultural workers. The Meccans were businessmen. In other words, they have no idea how to till the ground. And they don't have any capital to buy land, so they're just like, great, we have no skill here, and we have no money. So they were held up in the mosque for a period of time until things got better for them. And some of them actually just never, like Sayyidina Abu Hurairah was a companion for 10 years in that state. That's why we get so many hadith from him. So he was one of these people. He said, I used to shelter in the sufa of the mosque with other poor Muslims like myself. People used to call us the guests of Islam. Duyuf al-Islam. It's a lot better than that dude staying in the mosque. Duyuf al-Islam, they're the guests of Islam. Take care of them. Whenever any Muslim brought something in charity to the Prophet, he would send it all to us. All. Can you imagine? The Prophet was getting some gifts. Yeah, Rasulullah, take this from me. This is just Ashab al-Sufa. Give it to them. Give it to them. He used to feed them himself. Whenever any Muslim brought something in charity to the Prophet, he would send it all to us. And if someone gave him a gift, he would take some of it and leave the rest for us. So it occurred to me to ask the Prophet for some worldly good that would save me from poverty and make me like others who had wealth. He was like, man, I could get rich fast. I could get rich really fast. I could be like a top dog in Medina. Because I gave the Prophet some favor, and then now he's ready to repay it. And whenever I ask, he's young too. He's not even married. He's like, man, I could get you guys ever watch Cribs? He's probably having a Bedouin Arab version of Cribs in his head. He's like, I got all these goats and camels, and I can, baller. So he would save me from poverty and make me like others who had wealth and wives and children. Soon, however, he said to himself, look at what he said to himself. He said, may you perish, Rabi'ah. He took hisab of himself. In other words, he reckoned himself. He said, may you perish, Rabi'ah. The world is temporary and will pass away. You have your share of sustenance in it, which God has guaranteed, and which must come to you. The Prophet ﷺ has a place with his Lord, and no request will be refused. Request him, therefore, to ask Allah to grant you something of the bounty of the hereafter. In other words, Rabi'ah, if Allah gives you everything now that you're going to ask for, you would have wasted your dua. Because the life of the hereafter is forever, and this world is temporary. What kind of a fool would prefer the life that is temporary over the life that is permanent? What kind of a fool would choose a life of permanent happiness, permanent endless bliss? Endless bliss. Imam Ghazali, he made an example. He said, talking about the time and space and these kind of things. He said, if you were to take the entire earth and to fill it with mustard seeds, so that there's no air left. If you were to fill the entire earth with mustard seeds, so that there's no air left, and a bird was to come every 1,000 years and take a mustard seed, and then the return trip, That's 2,000.